everybody, Zetizwane here, and this is another Just Growth Babe Vibes with Black Couture Health and Wellness Lifestyle, as well as our growth opportunities with Zetizwane podcast. I just want to say Happy Women's Day! Happy International Women's Day, y'all! But quickly, I'm just going to say something very quickly because I've been noticing myself do it, and I am doing it in a winning season. I am not about to back down in a victory season. I noticed that when other people are putting out their testimonies out there, they are God flavored, Exodus, split the ocean kind of testimonies. I feel some type of way, like, oh, you're lying, and I had to take a step back, and I'm still trying to figure out why do I think that when in the season, honey, I was at the Red Sea. I saw the burning bush. I saw Jesus pull out the red carpet and do magnificent things. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like I had to have a conversation with myself. I have to still sit with myself and figure out why can't you have that? And it's not because I feel like I'm jealous of other people doing it. There's some certain that's not real kind of thing. And I feel as though maybe in parts, like I always say, Christianity is geographical, but maybe in parts, maybe it has to do with a lot of competition amongst, who is God, how's the right way to pray to Jesus. So in some parts I had to be like, you know what, let me stop looking at the humanness of it, because maybe I was looking at the competition of how you're supposed to worship Jesus, how are you supposed to do this, as opposed to being like, you know what, that's a phenomenal story. I'm so grateful that this person is bringing out their testimony out there, and we should bring out their testimonies out there, because let me read you guys this thing, and you guys, please, can you tell me the quotation? Just hit me up on my blog post or hit me up on my Instagram if you know whose quotation is this. But the quote says, by the grace of God, I am what I am. His grace, honey, that bestoweth on me will not go in vain, for I will outwork them all. And some parts of that, you know what I'm saying, it's like you've got to praise God, because the things that people are hating on you, the things that made you abnormal, the things that put you out of place and made you feel abandoned, made you feel wrong for being who you are, those are the very places where God is going to be glorious, God is going to be magnanimous. And so I felt as though, I had to remind myself of that quote that I have, because I took it from somebody's child, and I was like, woo, yes, it was an honor, obviously at the gym. And I said, this is for me, honey. Because, like I said, Christianity sometimes feels like it's geographical. And being an outspoken woman, it's shunned. We have all these adverts about being an outspoken woman, up until you are culturally in a location where it's an outspoken woman. And then all of a sudden it's shunned. So I am here for you, girl. I am here for those testimonies. I started to tell myself that, you know what? You have no idea. I've been like a little child. I get excited to wake up because I'm like, oh, God is up to something again. Oh, it's time to wake up again. You know what I mean? Because I've seen, there's a point where God just lets you grow and it feels like he's not there. And then you kind of freak out because it's like, what's happening? First of all, we've been chatting, we're chilling, we're talking this whole time. And then where are you now? Hello, can I please get a quotation? A disclaimer for where you is, you know what I'm saying? And then I know I listen to also a lot of those pastors, I love them, like TD Jakes, who tell you there's a point where he has to step back because he's doing something in the middle of that journey. He's doing something, he's always doing something, and it's for your good, it's for your glory, because his plans are to make you prosper and not to fail you. His plans are to make you rise up and not to destroy you. You know what I mean? And God is not like a human who lies. There's even a verse that says that. So I really love it. The first season, when I was still getting into my establishment of who God is, it was like the names of God kept on popping up, because I was, I said that I was mixing with my hocus pocus, mixing too much with other things, but he has an established throne. I won't be in China singing the US national anthem. You know what I'm saying? Okay, actually wait a minute, because in college like when you're an immigrant, I used to get so confused. Like, yeah, finally we're gonna sing the national anthem. Like, let's sing the U.S. national anthem, and then always sing Boomer Sooner. So I always used to call them out for that one. I'd be like, you guys, I came here to hear the national anthem. Why? I'm never gonna get to the Super Bowl or those big games. I'd like to hear the national anthem, but I never got to hear. I don't think I actually got to hear the national anthem live. But you know what I mean? But I won't go to another country and force them to sing like some other person's national anthem. So God has a kingdom, honey. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, so that when I was hearing the names of God, it was because I had to recognize that He has a kingdom. We like to mix things, but He has a kingdom. And you've got to know the kingdom. And then now the sweetest and most comforting thing is I had to just remind myself that, you know what, I own my testimonies and I will declare my testimonies, because everything that somebody is saying that is wrong about you, go ask God, and ask Him to also open the veils of your eyes. And I've been saying that since day one, y'all, because I've been having hocus pocus conversations with people, screaming people, and I'm like, somebody needs to open their eyes. I can't open your eyes. God can open your eyes, and God does it more lovingly than somebody else. Because I will come with my tired self. I'm really stressed. I'm doing a lot of projects, and now you're here screaming. But we all grew up in different homes, so God can tell you grew up in a different home. You're a fighter. Your love is fighting, and let me take that love. Let me take that nature and mold it into the energy that I know will prosper you and lead you into the God path that you are born to have. Because He knew you before you were even born. You know what I'm saying? These kind of, testimonies are not for the people in the Bible just only. They were the taste and the fragrance so that you can have it in your own life. And then it made me realize, okay, what about somebody maybe who's had a rocky experience? Maybe they were like me sitting in church, like, who are these people having? Like, what? You prayed what? And then you didn't go because Jesus said you mustn't go. I say to those people, because I was also one of them. I was one of them. Y'all have no idea. I'll talk about that another time. I was rude. I'm going to be straight up with that one. But I'm so gracious. I'm so grateful that God took me under His wing. Because I was crying out for a mentor deep down inside. I was crying out for somebody who could personally develop me. And God is the only one that can develop you, honey. God is the only one who can take your strongholds. Who can take those complicated, the aggressiveness, and say, here's the power to that nature. Because I was born with it. You know what I mean? I came out flying at 2-year-old. So, that's what made me feel like, these past few days when people put out their testimonies, they may just accept that this person's testimony is their testimony. This is their present God-given moment. And we're all, each and every one of us are entitled to a God-given moment. And then it's through, you have to, if you are real with yourself, keep asking for God to open the veils of your eyes. Because then if you are doing something maliciously to someone, turn around. I remember that was my case, and it wasn't being done maliciously. I experienced a lot of hurt, and maybe I wasn't releasing that hurt. I wasn't, giving y'all the tips that I give you guys, brain dumping it, brain dumping, counseling myself through it, going for walks, just recycling the body, renewing the body, decompressing those emotions. And so then, by being empowered by God to say, just let it go. This is where you are going. This is what you're actually doing. Release it that very instant. I've learned the power of just not holding and not limiting myself because of just one thing that has done wrong. It is absolutely okay to own your journey. So let's get into this International Women's Day post podcast, because I just want to celebrate you, honey. This is a post for you. Take it wherever you are, whether you are on the bus, in the Kumbi, in the taxi, in New York, in a train, in Oklahoma, taking an Uber. I want you to take this, girl, and I want you to own the words, and then make your own words, and then bring those declarations that God has. He has over 100 declarations. So there is no reason, honey, that you should be faulted in your standing and your worth. That the grace that He has bestowed upon you means something. So let's get into this episode. Honey, congratulations, honey, for making it this far. When last did you say that to yourself? Get up, woman, and I love you. How often do you tell yourself that? When I think about International Women's Day and the conversations I've been having with perfect strangers, I wonder how often do you tell yourself, I love you? And I mean, look into the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Like a pump up, put on your pump up song, put up your I'm the It Girl song and say, girl, I love you. So far in my conversations, I've centered the topic around opening your eyes to your relationships. Are you expecting too much from people? Or are you too open to people? This is because unrealistic expectations having no boundaries hurts you. Yet we're here to break free from these. So when you achieve your life plan, you've got the healing you deserve. You know, every time I think about this one, and maybe when I'm struggling and I'm throwing an emotional tantrum, I'm naked, I don't want to get up, I don't want to get dressed, just leave me alone. I think about the fact that, you know what, God, I don't want to die spiritually blind. I don't want to die. I want to heal. You know, sometimes I've been having, my victories have been different. One victory, I'm tired, you know, and then it's like I have to negotiate with God. Like, I'm grateful, but I'm exhausted from this one. But I'm grateful. Next victory, it was like, okay, I didn't see it coming, and I want to see it coming. So when you open your eyes, woman, you want to see the glory unfold. Because that point when he went into the hiding and he went into the maneuvering and bringing out the glory of his kingdom, I want you to see the path unfolding. I want you to see the Red Sea. It is not just in the books. It is today. He is living. He is breathing, woman, and it begins with you because you deserve that. We are here to break free from those so that you achieve your life plans and you see that. So when you open those doors to your first car, you have that inner glow only God will give. You know, I love the song Censored by Tasha Cobbs, and I was singing one night before I went to bed. As I rested my head on the pillow, it hit me that the place I am searching is God. The only place that can fulfill me is God. Because the crown that He has bestowed on me, only God can reveal. And you know, like everybody would, and it's not that people are against you. If you know the depths and the widths and the beauty and the wonders of this kingdom, of the earth, the heavens on this earth, you will recognize that these chains are generational. They wanted to break you with the words, but God will use that to bestow the crown upon you. So are you ready to put on the veil and the glory? Are you ready to rise up, woman, and embrace yourself and stand firm in her? Are you ready for that one? In the elegance, because you are sophisticated. The future, it has a fragrance of sophistication. And you can only achieve that seeing the crown, the glory, and the velvet gown. When you read the Proverbs 31 woman, you have to recognize that she has bestowed her velvet gown through the glory and the revelations of His kingdom. But you can only achieve that with opening your eyes. So baby girl, I want you to just tell yourself right now that I love you. I love you. And you are doing good, woman. So when you open the doors, you know who you are. So when you've conquered yet another valley, you know who truly paved you that path. Can I please tell you guys, so on my Instagram, I've been saying like, I put on angry music. I have a lot of angry gym music. And then I realized, I go quickly crying to Jesus. Okay, you have to go fight this. I know you can fight. I've seen you being a vindicator, so you need to be a redeemer. You need to be my vindicator. And I was laughing at myself because that's how I fight my battles, like low key. I'm like, no, Jesus knows how. Jesus got this. He's gonna smack them. And I was literally like, I need to get different kind of music that doesn't say like, yeah, I'm the boss. You can touch me. But you know, you have to play that music, honey. I'm still gonna keep that music on my playlist because nobody can touch me. I know who my father is, okay? and he fights the battles, and I'm very grateful with those battles. I'll give you another story where I kind of turned, knowing the beauty of God, turned to the selfishness. Like a 2-year-old where it's like, mine. I turned into that for like 2 seconds, and then he was like, yeah, I have other children. Okay, you are precious, but I want you to share with the other children. So, yes. Anyway, but still put on your angry music. Put on your I'm the it girl music. I got this music. Jesus got me music. You need to put that. When you step out of that valley, when you step out of that growth, you need to come out showing that you came through. That you came through the blood of God, that you made it, because you know it who truly paved that path for you to conquer and come out from after that Red Sea. You know what I'm talking about. And I think of that Hillsong, The Blessing, where God goes before you, behind you, beside you, and He's all around you, because when He's with you, opening the veils of your eyes, honey, will let you see your King, your Savior, and how He is working in your favor. Okay? And I feel as a woman, when you step in your heels to greet the world, honey, because I may have been a pageant queen, but we are all queens, and I am celebrating you today. And when you go and greet the world, you are moving mountains. I will move a mountain through my King, through the blood of my King, that He has set for me the path, and He knows the goodness that is through the path that He has laid. And so when you breathe in your confidence to speak your needs, you are addressing kingdoms, woman. You are addressing kingdoms. Overcome those weaknesses. Overcome that resentment. Overcome that low self-worth. My body is a temple, honey. You can tell me that I have to go fix it. No, I am not the 54.6% or the 54.5% of women that don't like herself. I love me. So I need you to stand in the mirror and to tell yourself, I love me. Your words breathe power, because knowing it, there's another woman watching you live, living brave. So you've got to keep going, woman. Don't let them see your tears. You've got, you know what I'm saying? Like, women, we carry a different kind of strength, where we uphold our families. Where I was thinking about that, where I was like, I went through it, and I was like, how am I going to have children and not show them that I just been through it? But I know by the grace of God, He's preparing you, so I don't even have to ask for that one. You were seated on the throne. You have been seated at the table. You know your place. So set those boundaries and set them professionally, because you know your worth. And the only way that you know your worth is that when you speak, declare the kingdoms of God. Declare the words of God. Declare His names, so that you will not falter whilst you are walking in those heels, honey. Because those heels are expensive, girl. Okay? We did not come here in your business suit, in your jumpsuit, in your dress, so that you can be mistaken for anything less. Your words bring power. And let another woman watch you and let her congratulate you. So to that I say to you, congratulations, honey. For all those moments when you failed, cried, sat naked in your bed. I call those emotional tantrums, woman. And I own mine. Sit naked in your blankets, thinking I might quit. I might go. I won't go back. But you still go back. So I say, good for you, woman. But woman, I want to say to you that God knows when. I believe you'd agree we need more everyday women who are doing powerful woman things. You know her, because I'm about to talk about her. Church moms. I'm about to talk about church moms. But you know her. Woman doing everyday things. You know her because that's you. We need superheroes, because there is so many that a woman goes through that no man will ever touch. And we need our own story of a woman, Wolverine. You know, we need those strong character women who owns her alpha, but she elegantly shows her femininity. Depicting a woman who's conflicted with her isolation, who's at war with her talent, who's at war with her blessing, who is fighting her rejection from society or at home, who's conquering many of those many personal battles of abandonment, who is in her winning season, because that is what we are here all about. We're here to live a life of breakthroughs. On my blog, on my social media, we're here for only our winning seasons, our victory seasons, our growth seasons, because I am not here for nobody but for my growth, to break chains, to uplift another sister, to uplift another woman, a perfect stranger on the streets who just decided that I will get up, I will get dressed. But so, because even though her human world is collapsing, she knows her God world is rising. So baby girl, you better rise up, girl. Have you ever been there before? It's a place you pray so hard for and receive the blessing. And no, wait, you are always faithful to believing. Oh, you are not always faithful to believing, but that's okay because God is faithful. Do not put pressure on yourself, they said, but you did. So God still gives you the promises of your prayer. He still says that you are his child, you are worthy because you are his child. Through believing, through that faith of believing that he is Christ and he is the King, he is the God of all gods, he is the God, he is the King, he is the God of the heavens and the earth, that he is faithful. Yet now he wants you to work on yourself, girl. So again, most amazing woman living a healing and ordinary life. Yes, you. When was the last time you said, I love you? That's because when God blesses you, it won't be like the movies. In the same season, God is removing people who will bring fear in your life. In the season, God will remove people who will make you doubt his glory and his promises. Men are trash. No, babe. Dating according to world standards, there's a whole lot of trash. Okay? So say it with me now. I am worthier than rubies. There is so much suffering in the world. One person said to me, I feel so guilty for receiving endlessly. But babe, do you remember how long your pillow stayed wet from crying endlessly? Do you remember when your eyes were swollen from crying that you couldn't see? Were you like so many other women who got up from bed, put on her lipstick and went to work? Do you remember when you got tired of people thinking you don't suffer? Did you get tired when people spoke to you live, like you live a soft life, those sugar daddy lives? However, in reality, you determined to live independently because you know the revelations God has spoken to you. You know your God purpose. You know your God victories. You know his name. And so, yes, by his grace bestoweth upon me, I will achieve all of this. Don't forget that you chose not to show your suffering because not everybody is meant to see your hurts. But God is able. If you decide to speak to him, he takes all those broken pieces, including those secret ones, where they said your body's not worthy. What happened these days? We went from curvy women are not normal. Now slender, beautiful, long, luscious legs are the abnormal ones. Girls celebrate all of you. The curvy girls celebrate all of you. The luscious legs celebrate all of you. And I stand firm to what I said before. Oh my gosh! I will see you at the beach, but I will still love you. I will still praise you because, woman, you are amazing as you are. And God makes all those broken pieces whole, but lay down your little secrets bit by bit. Lay them down, baby girl. Lay them down. Lay them down on that wet pillow because tears are the strongest prayers to his kingdom. But speak, woman. Don't allow yourself to hold back decades because you could not speak the things within your heart. I want you today to speak them because it's your right. It is your right to speak them. Now again I say, have you heard that song, I Sense It by Tasha Cobbs? Don't you believe you're worthy of holding and caring for that blessing? That victory you dreamed up where you're like Kylie Jenner celebrating with all your friends doesn't always take place. But be careful not to diminish her suffering because we all have a different growth opportunities that come with growth pains. Don't diminish somebody else whose life is on the public arena, because we see their growth unfolding. We see the rumblings of their growth pains live. And then we tell ourselves that we don't go through the same things. Honey, baby girl, you're going through the same thing. But your life is quite different. Your path is different. So don't diminish somebody else's growth opportunity. So still, I know there's probably a few who'd like to throw a Kardashian-side inspired party. Because, I mean, come on. If you're going to come up from the valley and you come out strong and you know that God laid the path down for you, that God set the table for you, who wouldn't want to do that? Except the reality is majority of your God victories are private. And honey, those are the most precious, because that's when you know your king. That's when you know your father. That's when you know the mentor. The man who is letting you know. The father who's letting you know. The I am who's letting you know exactly what those bits of your character that made absolutely no sense to nobody's child make absolute sense to his victories and his path for your life. And your celebration song is not like a pageant queen's final walk. I honestly did not have that expected final walk. So it's okay, girl. Those most powerful breakthroughs are between you and God, because only you and God know the revelations to come. And they're not meant for everybody. And I know we like to post our whole life, but you want to post for generations, girl? You want to post for something that's for generations? No, girl. No. There are certain things that you gotta keep, because they're for generations. When you break a chain, you're breaking for generations. When you conquer that journey, when you conquer that valley, you've conquered for generations. And that is for you and your child. That is for you and your family. Speak that testimony for you and your family. Keep it private. And own your victories. Own your godly victories. Conversely, I really haven't spoken to you, girl. Have you spoken to you lately? How often do you take yourself out to say good job? Have you seen my 52 best date custom made for you each season? Because, I mean, we might as well just be celebrating ourselves at this point. Why wait for the right one when you are the one? Too often we're waiting for someone to tell us that we're great. Yet it's up to you, babe. You deserve a world-class self-narrative reminding you of how gorgeous you are, regardless of the acne. Now I ask you, how do you speak to yourself and your body? How do you speak to your heart and your God promises? You've got to go. You guys, you have to take my ebook. My ebook is coming out on the 30th of March, and it's all about body confidence, because I want to talk to you about what is it that you say to yourself. You know, when you wake up briefly at like 4 a.m. or whatever, or like 5, what is the first thing that you say to yourself? Are you singing the whispers of your God glory? Are you praising Jesus? Are you saying, oh my goodness, I did an amazing thing yesterday. Oh, I just conquered that difficult thing. Congratulations to you, woman. So I want to speak to you about those ones. And I think if you have struggled with body confidence, you know, like, yeah, that size that's in between, never seen on TV, never seen in magazines, and so you don't really know where to put yourself. You're like, I feel like my body's great, but my body's not great. That ebook is for you, babe. If you feel like that, you know, my body can do more, but I'm not doing more, that ebook is for you, babe. Because it's all about those inner conversations that you have. And those inner conversations that you have with your body, they're intertwined with the conversations that you will eventually have with God. So let's start breaking free from those limitations. Let's break free, honey baby girl, because it is your season. It is your day. Today is your day to live a life of breakthroughs. So I say this because you've achieved a lot, whether you've known it or not known it till this day. Usually when we feel lost, we don't realize how much we conquer throughout our seasons. But when you take on that personal journey to start off with, let me take what is small and what I can handle, then you begin to realize that, oh my gosh, I've just conquered CEO kind of level growth. And I am proud of me. And I want you to say those things to yourself. Remember that last time you took the biggest risk in your season? Remember that one and you failed? Congratulations to you, girl. And did you catch it when I said in your previous season? Well, that's because the mountain you've overcome is the first of many. So really, when was the last time you gave yourself a bachelorette inspired date? I mean, really took yourself out to say congratulations for failing. We need to make that a thing. When you fail, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm about to go celebrate. And not depression celebrate, please don't be numbing your emotions. I mean, like, yes, I just took that risk that I never said I wouldn't take. I didn't throw an emotional tantrum like I usually do. I didn't panic like I usually do. Because Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah El Roi, He heard my cries, He hears my pain, and I spoke it to Him, and He's taking it away from me. He is healing me, and there's nothing that is going to take me back into that same thinking that I have already taken myself out through the revelations and the truth of who Christ's nature is. So I'm not going back. I'm going to celebrate my failure, honey. I'm going to play that congratulations music on my earphones, plug it in, and I'm just going to go all out and be like, yes, girl, we did it. You failed, girl, congratulations, but guess what? You did it. Because nobody else is going to do it. So I'm going to go do it for myself. There is nothing wrong with prioritizing you. In fact, I dare say this is the most valuable thing in your life. Prioritizing you. Why wait for somebody who will grow tired of praising you when you have to be when you have you to celebrate living a life fulfilled? When you have you to celebrate living a life where you are constantly breaking the veils of your eyes. What do I mean? Healing people don't harm other people. Hurt people. But I'm breaking the veils, I'm breaking the strongholds, I'm breaking the chains, baby girl. And I'm saying that sometimes I can't do spill the tea culture. I can't do burn his t-shirt culture, because I'm not here for that. I'm here to uplift some kingdoms. I'm here to pave waves for generations. I'm here to crush what was told I cannot do. I'm here to declare that God will open every door that every man has closed, and it is possible. I am here for that. Don't be afraid to be authentic, baby girl. What do I mean by that? Don't be afraid to be authentic. Live your whole authentic self this season and see what happens. Now I want to leave you with true confidence comes from Yahweh. The world owes you nothing, but you owe yourself the world. You owe yourself the chance to take on those God promises. You owe yourself the chance to hear the voice of God and see the wonders of God whispered promise. I might as well just say what I used to do in church. There was this one woman. Now I fully get it. And please, if there's a cynical human being out there, just give God a chance so that you can see that it actually makes sense. Because you will say the same thing 10 years later. I used to sit in church. One girl was making a testimony that she was saying, like when you're at the breaking point of your victory, it feels like you're giving birth pains. And I was sitting there like, who's pregnant? Who's pregnant? Who's pregnant? Like looking around, and I found like another cynical friend, and we started laughing in church. God bless my soul. That's wrong. Okay, but I tell you right now, going through those victories, that's actually the first statement that you think of, because you've gotta know the person that you're talking to, that whatever they're going through, when you're woman to woman, when you're speaking, whatever that you're going through, it's like growth pains. It's uncomfortable. You're agitated. You want it to pop out now. Hey, this baby is pressing against me. It's pressing on top of me. It's pressing all around me. Like it just needs to come out. It's time to come out of you. And so when 10 years I'm saying that and explaining that to somebody, as soon as I dropped off the phone, I was like, oh hell no. I used to love people like that, but I didn't know God like that. I hadn't experienced Him for myself, so I couldn't understand how somebody's saying like birth pains. That's all. You've never been pregnant. I'd be sitting in church being like that, and then now I understand. You've got to go on your own God promises, girl. You've got to go on your own growth path so that you can take that cynical nature and ask for forgiveness, because at that point you're not wrong. You're not aware that's wrong to limit somebody else's testimony, But with God is humorous, because I have never had a child, and here I am talking about it's like growth pains, baby girl. Why are you stopping? You're tired. I mean, look at our coworker. Her feet are swollen, sweltering. You can tell that it is time for the baby. Even when you ask her like joyfully, how's it going? She tells you this baby is pressing on God against me. And that's exactly like your blessing. There'll be a point where it's pressing against you, because the world owes you nothing, but God's blessing owes you and will provide for everything. That healing, that path that you took was there so that you can heal from those chains, heal from that resentment, heal from that unforgiveness, heal from that selfishness, heal from that unnecessary competitiveness that you have. Heal from all of those ones so that you can establish yourself and position yourself that not only favors you, but favors so many that who are probably lost like you were so many seasons ago. So you've got to have that chance to let go of the veils so that you can see the world that you owe only to yourself. You owe yourself the chance to hear the voice of God and see the wonders of a God-whispered promise unfold. And yes, if that includes you, now all of a sudden, yet there's no other way to say how your blessing will happen, but it's going to be agitating. You're tired. You're like, there's no compass for this valley, Jesus. Why can't I have the compass so that, we can work together? You know what I mean? It's not like that. But you deserve that. You deserve to live a fulfilled and pleasant and emotionally healed life. You deserve the revelations only you and your Jehovah Adonai have spoken. So believe in those. Although I said in this is a skincare checklist, I have a free skincare checklist with the original blog post, that your confidence is fulfilled by your eyes. Your self-worth is everlasting, and it only comes from Yahweh. From every emotional growth you tackled, God is there to piece all those broken bits together. And okay, wait, but didn't He already heal you the very first time you asked? Yes, and definitely yes. But we forget, because our hearts are fickle. We want to run along to the next thing, and so we don't realize there's a growth. Just because you recognize that you have this emotional growth area doesn't really mean that we work on it most of the time. We have to go through the growth of recognizing that this is persistent before we continuously then go back and then say, okay, God, I want to work on this emotional growth, and I'm not about to let somebody else take that away from me. And we forget, because knowing your trauma is different from having that emotional strength to conquer it. And you can only conquer it through the God whispers and God knowing His voice. The courage to take yourself from anxious to emotionally healed means learning to change your self-talk. And that's exactly why that ebook is going to be favorable and flavorful to taking that step into the right direction, or taking that step into recognizing where you are in speaking your God promises and how you faithfully live out those moments. It means relying on a God that is not a feeling, not a sensation, and definitely not a 7,000 Emalangani prayer. You cannot bribe Jesus. He has no favors. Even though at the bottom I did say that I believe every church mom has a special place in heaven. Low-key, the Bible verse says He has no favors. Okay? So He is God El Shaddai. It's all about getting to know the Bible breathes life and revelations that no man can take. And if you own that book, if you own the verses, if you own the God-breathed words, you can only see for yourself the glory of your path in life. Fully living in God's victory means journaling it down. They are going to be, like I was saying in the beginning, I had every testimony, but it is weird to see it from another person. Secondly, over here, we forget about the amazing things that God happens to us, because life is fast. You know what I'm saying? By the time maybe some of y'all read this or listen to this podcast episode, it's gonna be 2024, honey. Okay, and we need to have it today written down. How amazing God is. I want you to write it down, put it on frames when God does a magnanimous thing for you in your house. Put it out there and declare it, so that you never forget when you have gone through there. It's like having those breadcrumbs. When couples celebrate anniversaries, we need to have our own anniversary with Jesus. Knowing that all the things that he has taken me out of. Oh, when I was that crazy person over there, that cynical child over there in church, and he knew that it was because of loss. He never judged me for it. He took me through that path as a loving father should. Because like how I said in my article on why I should forgive, usually sometimes in society, especially maybe like African society, like the society that I'm in, you just hit a child. Like you think that your 2-year-old was born with instructions, like a manual book that they had to read for themselves. I mean, just imagine you take a blender, you don't switch on the blender. Now you're busy throwing the blender because the blender is not hitting, not doing the foods. You are supposed to read the instruction book on how to do the blender. I bought myself a hair straightener. It says don't tangle. Try to leave the cord straight. Don't try to loop it when it's hot. Now all of a sudden, now you are you're keeping the cord curled up every time, but you're using the heat. Of course it's going to get damaged and then break. Then you're gonna go to who's this person? You're gonna go to the shop where you bought it and start screaming at it, right? Don't we do that with humans? And your 2-year-old had no idea what you were screaming at all about. But I said in that blog post that God understood that we're out here busy barking at children, as if children know what the heck is supposed to be going on. But no, a child is if your child mimics you, which is like my all-time favorite thing, I swear to you, with children, especially when they mimic the shadiness of the parent. I live for those moments. Then teach the child, let them absorb the lessons of how to look after or how to clean up their rooms or how to do anything like that, and teach them at a very small age without beating them, because if they're absorbing your mannerisms live, they'll absorb the cleanliness, and the child only goes after what you recognize. But let me not go deep into children, because I go deep into it. I have a baby store and I take it very personally if you attack a child. Anyway, so fully live in God's victory, girl. Fully live in it. And guess what? What you are going through, your God is far bigger. And I know they say that, but you won't remember that unless you write those every moments right. Write down the moments where remember you were impatient here, but now in this season I don't care about this. Not that I don't care, but I've emotionally grown. I'm searching for that irritated feeling and it's not there. Accept that feeling is not there. And thank him. Ooh, finally. Because, excuse me, first of all, every time you get stressed, how are you going to keep your hair? Anyway, so remember those ones, for the humility and grace that for every moment someone spoke down to you. Through humility and grace, God lifted you. Do you know her? She's living an ordinary life of breakthroughs because she remembers God's faithfulness. Unlike her family, unlike her friends, unlike goals, unlike her community, his love never fails. Because goals fail, but his love and his promises remain true. So go ahead, woman. Live an ordinary life, brave by accepting it is okay to start afresh. Once again, happy International Women's Day. I mean, we have to remember that this is a post. This is a declaration, a celebration of you, woman. Okay, so happy International Women's Day to you, to the woman who shows great strength and wisdom just from silence. There is power in silence. You've just got to know when. So don't let them mistaken your hot pink lipstick was just for show. The future is sophisticated, and so are you. Your last relationship left you feeling as though you are not worthy. Renew that inner glow, woman, from the only source that will fill you from eternity. I believe your next self-care journey is yours to hone. There is no one else who can achieve what God is breathing within you except you and your Creator. To that I say congratulations for struggling with your emotions, for working to break free. Congratulations for that last project you failed. Yeah, I said it. There's a lot of failure that happens, okay? So please don't come for me just for repeating that. There is a lot, but also Jesus has got time, and his timing is perfect. Oh, I'm going to regret that later, but hey, praise Jesus. I'm going to keep saying it to myself as well. So we can both get back up, women. Congratulations to those silent wins so many women have that no man can share. sitting in those rooms, getting on that kumbi, walking in that street. There is nothing, there is that bit of quality that there's only a woman can experience that not a man has experienced. And that is your power, woman. So congratulations for taking on the impossible. And to all, now this is my favorite. I have to leave with this one. This one, if y'all have to stay for this one, y'all have to stay for this one. To the church moms, to all the church moms. This last one is for all the church moms who took in a fierce storm like myself. I probably came out like punching people when I was 2, or like out the womb. You know what I mean? I'm saying I had to be like, there has to be like a cartoon where, you know, when you hit the baby, I punched you back. Because I was actually like that. I remember, okay, so I was that kind of kid who sit at the end of the row. And if I saw like 10 kids crying and they were getting injections, you know, like those injections like they used to do. Okay, they used to do those injections here, like the measles and whatever vaccinations, because please, we don't want rickets, okay? I was a child who watched, and I snuck away, and I remember they looked for me for 2 hours. The only reason why they caught me is because I was underneath the desk. I had hidden myself underneath the desk. I had fallen asleep. So when somebody is moving into the desk, you know, like you're shifting into your desk to sit down, the nurse kicked me, and I screamed like passion and bitter. She was like, so she scared me. She's like, I'm going to go and get like 10 shots because I might have rabies. So you know what I'm saying. But this is why I have a special place in my heart for church moms, because they took a fierce storm like myself. Thank you, church moms, for upholding generations. There is truly a special place in my version of heaven for you. But Jesus has no favors. But there's a special place for me. Okay? There truly is a special place for you. When in my heaven, because I know that, like I said, God has no favorites. I say it today because you've broken so many chains, you've saved so many lives, and you've rescued more. Thank you for making your homes so available. You run entire communities like world-class CEOs. You know, I never used to understand what church moms go through. There was one summer, I love my church. I love my American moms, and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna go sort out these things." I'm like, ugh, "Okay, let's go do some housewife things." Okay, you do nothing, and I swear to you, I was so exhausted at the end of the day. I wanted to sleep, and I'm looking at my American mom like, "You are not tired? Like, how are you still breathing? Like, how are you still, you know, getting supper ready? Like, are you okay? Are you sick? Like." I was like, no, I have to drink your cup of coffee, woman. At that point, I had the Africanness in me had completely gone out. I was staring at you dead. First of all, the only reason why I was staring you dead in the face is because white people, when you first come to the US, they want to stare you dead in the face, whereas culturally, I was not used to that. So by the first semester, I was looking at dead in the face like, hey, I'm gonna drink your coffee because there's no coffee just in here. You telling me there's coffee in here only? No, please, you're playing with me. Pass your coffee cup, and then you must drink my cup. Because I wanted to test, maybe she put something in a cup, because there's no way all the things that they did in the day is like, this is not house mom things, you know what I'm saying? So no one compares to you. Have you seen a church mom? They negotiate with all walks of life, assigning tasks, authoring books, and engineering world-class events. There is none like her. As I look back to all the church moms in Norman, Oklahoma, and to the future, because I am still excited to immerse myself around church mommies, I only pray I remember where I am weak, my God is strong. That is what my church moms have taught me. I hope you get to witness her too. Through the grace of God, she finds her footing and establishes her queendom. She caresses 1,000 generations while nurturing her homes. Her doors are open and her heart is free. I thank you for all that you have done, and I pray that you continue in that path. Ooh, okay. Your grace and wisdom paved the way for a young woman to break free from bondage. And I only pray God will keep you safe as you have so many lives. That God will guard you, and that the path that you continue to walk. You have fought the greatest war of mankind, to bring forth and save many from emotional chains. The church mom at her best is she who raises the kingdom of God. You are loved, and I thank you. As a young African child, as a young immigrant, I thank you and I honor you. Now, to all the women, oh my gosh, that was so emotional. To all the women, please enjoy my skincare. Go out and get ready for my 30-day ebook. I thank you guys so much, and let me know what you think about this rendition, this celebration, this declaration to all women, to celebrating you, and let me know what you think. Much love, and definitely keep living an ordinary life of breakthroughs with me, Z2's one and just growth, babe. Y'all, I love my church moms. Okay. Ooh, I love them so much. And thank you again for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys again.